So one of those holdout Republicans was Congressman Marlin Stutzman. He's of Indiana, a member of the House Freedom Caucus. He joins us now. Thank you for sticking around. I know he told me he had about 3 hours of sleep over the last 24 hours or so.
Well, but it's not like President Trump, who's probably dealing or has less sleep, and he's out there in Iowa revving up the crowd and just incredible energy that he has.
Right. White House officials were telling us today that he was working the phones up until the last minute. You were over there, right, at the White House yesterday? Did you meet with him or talk with him at all?
No, I met with the White House staff.
Okay.
I was one of the early ones to reach out to them and share some of my concerns, and we had some really good conversations dealing with the big, beautiful bill that we were able to work our way through, and I was really impressed with how his entire team just took all of the concerns that we had about the Senate version and were able to move forward.
You know, I noticed that working down Pennsylvania Avenue at the White House, you would see Trump administration officials really every day. J.D. Vance, Susie Wiles, Caroline Leavitt going up here to Capitol Hill to really lobby members who were on the fence. You were one of those members that were on the fence. How did you get to yes on this? Well,
so I serve on the Budget Committee, and I have been so concerned, as others have, about our federal debt. I know Budget Chairman Jody Arrington, even Speaker Mike Johnson, and a lot of other members are concerned about the fact that the debt continues to increase so fast. Even President Trump told us that that was one of his concerns. This particular bill focuses, even though it raises the debt ceiling, it really focuses on taxes and making sure that people don't have to pay more in taxes right now, which I think and believe would be a detriment to the economy. It's kind of like the chicken and the egg. How do you pay down your debt? Well, you have to make money. And so that's one of the ways that I looked at it. And we had some good conversations about, okay, what's next? We passed the one big beautiful bill. We keep taxes low. We focus on, of course, finishing the border security and making sure that Golden Dome is part of this particular bill in our national security. But now it's what's the next step to start reducing debt and deficits? And we're fully prepared to do that.
That's what I was going to ask, because that is really the question. You know, this was a big, monumental accomplishment for President Trump to get this done in his first year, in his first 6 months. So what is the next step? What is the next domestic policy agenda item that you're working on the Hill now?
Well, so now we'll go into appropriations and the actual, funding from each committee in Congress for, different departments. And that'll start in the next couple of weeks. And so that'll be really getting into the weeds. The one big beautiful bill focused on more broadly on keeping the tax rates where they're at now. Don't letting the Trump tax cuts expire. If they would have expired, that's about roughly $3,500 on average for the American family that they would have paid more in taxes. There's, some pieces in there that I just think are really, just brilliant on his part. And I think part of that is just his ability to travel around the country and connect with people, but like no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime. And then, of course, the discounting the interest from your auto loan if it's an American-made car. We're seeing that, especially coming from Indiana. I have seen over my lifetime manufacturing leave our state because we're now known as the Rust Belt because it was easier to go do business in other parts of the world. That's starting to come back, and it's exciting. I want to raise my family there. I've got 2 young boys, and for them to have the same opportunities that others have around the country, President Trump is focused on manufacturing, and that's a big deal coming out of the big, beautiful bill.
Now, you are going to head back to Indiana tomorrow. The House has essentially off from Capitol Hill, but back in the district working. It took some convincing to get you on board to this bill. How are you going to convince some of your constituents who are skeptical that this will really help them at the end of the day?
I think it's a great question because, we have a lot of agriculture in my district, a lot of manufacturing, and everybody has concerns about the debt. In fact, it's probably the #1 concern that I hear about. And so we're going to talk about rescissions packages. President Trump and his team were sharing with me that's what's coming next. They're finding places that we can clean up waste, fraud, and abuse. In fact, the Department of Justice just announced a couple of days ago this big scam that they have indicted 300 people, and it's a $14 billion scam. And so we've been telling Democrats all along there is waste, fraud, and abuse in government. There's, our budget is almost $7 trillion. If you can't, believe that there's somebody taking advantage of that, I just think that's unrealistic. And we're starting to see this more and more. So we're going to focus on, those priorities of making sure, like Medicaid, is used for people that really need it. Medicare should be protected for those who have paid into it for years and years. And I think that can all be done just by simply growing the economy, but making sure that if you're here illegally, you're not allowed to be on Medicaid. If you're here as an able-bodied individual, you should be able to get off of, find your own insurance and not to be dependent on Medicaid and the American taxpayer.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.